map veto for you. But outside of that, if Chaos can pick up a win here, and a convincing win, a 7-2, a 7-3, a 7-4 is the level, I think, where it starts to get close, then I think you can start to make arguments for Chaos as being the real deal. But if Chaos falls apart here and LSE crush them, then I think it's more back to the norm. A regression to the mean, some would say. And we're actually going back to Bank with Chaos starting on defense.
Right. Yeah, it's money in the bank. LSE are currently on the 3rd spot in Europe at 9 points. They are tied with Chaos. So this game will decide who takes the 2nd spot. Even if it's, if it's a tie, it's still 1-1. So,
nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
But if we have a victor here, then this will set things up for the next matchup in the 2nd half of the season. And because the two teams are so tied in points right now, they have to worry about one another, and not just winning is important here, winning with as many rounds differential as possible, because in the end, what divides two teams that are tied in points is their head-to-head differential. Once played on first patch and once in the 2nd half of the season. So keep that in mind.
How do you feel about this matchup? Community, we ask you. LSE versus Chaos. Chaos has earned quite a lot of fans, and darn, that is really close. Another real squeaker between these two teams, but LSE just getting the edge ever so slightly.
But I do understand this. This makes a lot of sense. Two teams, if you only look at the matches and the score lines, you're like, okay, they're pretty tied. But then you look at LSE and how they've been playing, how they've been demolishing everybody in the past few weeks, you'll give them the advantage. But then again, you're still unsure of Chaos. Like, hey, are they really up in there, or is it something else? Well, this is the game that's going to prove it. As you said, let's head into game. Bank is rolling on in.
This is going to be intense for both of these teams. I imagine this will probably be, I don't know if G2 Empire will be. I was going to say, I think this might be the most exciting match of the day.
G2 Empire is definitely something that everybody's been waiting for. But when it comes to the top, how do you say, the top standings right now, this is the game to look for, just in terms of pure numbers, which is, it's odd to say that, G2 are not at the top and already destroying everyone, but still.
All right, very first ban is going to go to Chaos. They take out Maverick. Interesting that a Maverick goes here. You're going to have a Hibana and a Thermite both open. That is a little unusual. I understand the Maverick ban, but
Okay. Well, the Monty ban, removing that for Chaos, as they've been very notorious in running the Monty, even before that was cool, I guess. Valkyrie will get removed from play, and should it be Mira? Yes, it is. Mira will be taken out. So reducing information potential for the squad here.
All right.
All right. That's the end of ban phase. We head to round number 1, and we'll see how things go. As starting on the attack is LSE, and on the defense it's Chaos. It's always like that, even in the ban phase. You get to see the color coding on everything. It's very easy, very simple to guess. And
pretty nice color coding. Chaos is orange, and they're orange, and LSE is blue and white, and they're blue and white.
Yeah, boy.
Very nice.
We had that with Reciprocity. It was so nice as well.
Yeah, it was Reciprocity and Rogue.
Yeah, it was perfectly blue, and they're pretty much like the same color, and perfectly orange on the other side.
It is so nice when that happens.
Yeah, we like color coding.
Attackers need
well, I mean, I think it's a nice little flair. You know?
Definitely. All right, so we'll start. Oh, hey, we didn't see CEO at all.
Not once, and we'll start right away here.
Good, we're filling the gaps. Well. So, Chaos is going to start off on here. The Maestro is not a play, oddly enough. But on this site, I very much understand the need to bring the dock. Just, a lot of people are going to be engaging against players on the windows. So a bit of damage, ship damage here and there can be healed up pretty swiftly. You don't have the luxury of the Mira, but still, you can contest players coming in from the main entrance into Spiral or through the hallway. The position where, you see the reinforcements here above Red Groove. That position here on the entrance is very powerful. Vitaline might be able to support him as well in the back, and he will actually set up a Yokai drone for that specific purpose. So all in here for Chaos to try and shut down any flanks or any moves from the long hallway, forcing LSE to just have a one-way entry from the front wall.
When in doubt, cog it out, as they would say.
No.
And, I mean, well, you have an ACOG on the PDW of Rise takes out Renewals, and you lose the Jaeger, who, doesn't have an ACOG on the Jaeger.
German operator, no ACOG. Ha! I've heard that joke before somewhere. All right, Uno has at least controlled the stairs. It's a great opening here for Le Stream. As, again, there's so many ways for the flank to be held by the attackers that just losing one player can kind of lose your whole round if you don't have anyone to swiftly maneuver in between two positions and use their own skill to hold down long angles.
So you've got at least one body off of the board, and that's going to be some of the external pressure that could be put onto Lestream here, as all these angles being opened up can actually be met with some pretty strong resistance on Chaos' side of things. If you look at Lestream, their only real soft destruction is going to come in the hands of Ash. But because this is a CEO take and you've got both a Thermite and a Hibana, you can use those X-Kairos to take out the castles.
Yeah, you can basically do whatever you want with it. Uno takes, well, shuts down a lot of damage onto Crips through the soft wall, but secretly peeks in. Seen Janitor, the amount of work that can be done through this with a shotgun, even in the past with MPXs, for example, with Goga, but it's not the biggest of losses here, but you do lose out on 2 smokes, and for an assault that can be very open, smokes can be sorely needed at times.
And Ace is just, at the moment with that SMG-12 out, just flirting, possibly going in towards the stock area. Alfama doing great work, takes out Crips, an overheal from Red Groove here as he knows he's going to be under siege very soon, as it's early action on both of these teams, and secretly has been down. You saw that here. The dog will be able to get to him, but Red Groove has no stim pistols left.
Yeah.
Secretly finished off, and Aces is not too far by, but the double ACOGs of Chaos in good position to greet LSE's entrance. They'll be greeted instead from Aces on Repel. Alfama chewed apart by Vitalin as he sneaks around the corner. There's going to be a smoke grenade that is going to completely cut off all of his line of sight. He's going to have to wander in through that plume of smoke, and just a reflexive shot, but Aces is there. A huge play from Aces, a 3K, proving that SMG-12's recoil is still definitely something that's doable as it bobbles all over your screen. The German will start things off, and it will be 1-0 LSE.
Ace is one of the few players that can still very easily control that SMG-12. I want to say in competitive play, it's still fairly complicated to use, but when you play the operator for as much as Aces has, you have under control pretty darn well. And you saw even contesting ACOGs in that situation. One thing I want to highlight, the fact that Red Groove used all 3 of his stim pistols, even when the Hibana was in Garage, he had already used one of them because he wanted to use it to peek out and fight the Hibana whilst being able to tank even more body damage. In that situation, wasn't able to get anything out of it. The Hibana had already opened up the wall from the opposite end, which pretty much shut down the whole idea of roaming within the hall. And when Uno comes in, gets the kill on the Jaeger, that's pretty much your flanks exposed. And you have to fall back on the site. Once that's done, it's very easy to corner the defenders. And again, manpower on that top CEO site is so important for the defense. You don't have it, you find yourself in very open positions. And having the 2 Heartbreachers in the situation, as you mentioned later on in that first round, allows this team to just dump those X-Kairos wherever they want, because they had already opened up the 2 sidewalls. Interestingly enough, Chaos weren't bringing neither the Bandit nor the Mute in that situation.
Yeah, you've got so much at your disposal here, and Lestream is going to run the dual hard breachers quite a bit. You put Hicks on the Thermite. Whether you need hard destruction or not, Alfama is still likely going to play that Hibana. She's got, she's got oodles and oodles of fragging potential. Alfama makes her work quite well, so it doesn't really surprise me to see that. Even though the Bearing 9 is not the weapon that it used to be, you've still got the Type 89, which is a very hit-or-miss weapon with a lot of the players, but it all, like most guns, it comes down to personal preference here, right? Somebody
has been switching around to the P229 lately as well. Just, it's a pretty darn good pistol too.
And that was the thing, is that with the Bearing 9 as strong as it was on both Echo and Hibana, they've also got one of the better pistols in the game. Now, obviously, recent additions to this game have made the Japanese pistol not as strong as it used to be in comparison, but still, it was kind of crazy that the double sidearm combo of the 2 Japanese ops was as strong as it was. Very similar to the Korean operators as well with the SMG-12 and the C75. So no real contest at the moment with a minute to go, and the Roam presence will likely be contained downstairs. Now this side of CCTV is always very similar to the others, except one big glaring difference. It's a massive site. So because of that, you can keep all your bodies down on that main floor or down on that bottom floor, and that's exactly what it looks like from Chaos for the time being. So you basically just need to wait and hope that Lestream can drone fast enough to be able to get towards the site itself.
Oh!
Secretly with a shotgun in hand as the Elo will get dispatched by Rise, opening things up, and that's a spot that Rise knows very well.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Chaos, the bodies that they had downstairs, well, they hit the floor, and we know where usually that happens. Well, what happens with that situation? Aces will enter in and scout out all the cameras, allows him to use his hack on the Dokkaebi, so you can watch through the Maestro cameras, but no Echo drones here, so unfortunately that advantage could have been given away to Chaos. He's not available in play. Uno continues to drone in from the back, realizing that it's all empty. It makes a lot of sense. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Chaos are running the pulse, so it means they're going to spend most of their time in the back in that gold vault, and it's up to this team to come and get it. Now, Uno's going to try to challenge that angle, but the biggest problem now for this team is how do they bait out the equipment from Chaos before going for a plant?
And there's going to be a lot of it, right? You've got your Maestro. Those Maestro cams might still be up. You've got the smokes. But the only thing is that you've only got one C4.
Uno on the rotation coming down from Garage. This is huge.
We see a lot of teams do this, but there is an Evil Eye there, and that's going to be the bigger issue. Oh, he lands his shots, and Renewals peaks a little too early. And one breaching round still left on Uno. If he can take up that ground, he doesn't have to worry about that Evil Eye being there. Crips, oh no, a bad rotate. He gets caught, and it's one from every single angle. Chaos trying to keep this in check. Red Groove lights up Alfama, but where is Uno? There is no diffuser in their hands.
Oh,
and no! Clutch, a massive clutch from Chaos on a round that just fell apart at the seams for Lestream, and really should have stayed for LSE, but Chaos digs themselves out of a massive hole.
The round that was won with a Gourmine.
Well, and also the...
Yes, but...
And also the UMP.
But still. That was... I'm not sure why the last two players stacked up on the pulse. Instead of keeping him there, because he already used his Nitro Cell, holding the angle against him, and actually playing the objective, which is to plant the diffuser, which would have been a much easier situation. It all went this team's way. And then, snap a finger, all changed towards Chaos in the defense, which means the Swedish team will get that first round on the board. Actually running the Rook and the Echo in this round. Fearful of possible grenades being tossed in from the top floor, just because it'll down you, not kill you, by having the Rook armor. A lot of times, a lot of teams have been also going for the Dock instead, just to get that extra anti-smoke kind of play, and seeing that this team are running the Jackal and the Dokkaebi fairly consistently at a map where clearing roamers is definitely going to give you a big advantage. It's already a lot. You add to that the fact that, well, now you have 4 smokes on this team, and you can isolate a lot of the sites, a lot of the rooms using those smokes.
Be able to excise them. Excise.
I don't know that word actually.
That's okay. You'll look it up. This is a thing. So you basically created a panic room upstairs, as they can bounce off all of those padded walls with both Renewals as well as secretly up top. This is very dangerous. If the utility from LSE is applied correctly, this could be all for naught on essentially a strategy that is called the caged animal, so to speak. Secretly will have to drop the hatch, and it looks like he will do so successfully with it at his disposal. No, he's still up there, so the Mute will actually miss the hatch. There'll be double drone work with Aces covering Uno to ensure there's no push towards the Skylight stairwell. He'll finally spot the drone as the one Mute jammer did not stop the drone out. The Logic Bomb will go off, and this could be an early take. Likely using it just to try and get one, but this is a great angle from Secretly to take out Uno Meister with the C4, and Crips is there to deal some damage as well. Uno finished off, but it's a double from Lestream to take out both Secretly and Renewals.
And the call is definitely allowing this team to be a bit more active, at least knowing where Crips was, but see the wall in here has not been reinforced into the admin office, as this allows you to rotate in and out, but it can be used against you, as I guess the word is the holes work both ways, as our dear Devin would say. And in this case, they can very easily be used by Lestream, as the cameras have been hacked. Now that does not affect the Yokai drones for Red Groove, so he can rest assured. That's not something he'll have to deal with, but the amount of time that is on the clock and the extra manpower this team have, oh man, this can definitely snowball. But Crips is trying to come around from the back. Is he going to find the angle? Yes, he will. Go down the Dokkan of Aces. They know where he is now. This team, will they try to challenge him? Crips with the double tap takes down Rise, and suddenly the round shifts the way of this team.
Just proving all the haters or the doubters of that gun in particular and what it can and can't do. That was a beautiful read by Crips, and it really fell on Ace's shoulders to be able to flank watch. You knew that he was going to get baited out after Aces got taken down. That's exactly what happened. And just Rise not able to engage in such a long-range fight, and Crips makes very quick work of him. Just 2 taps, as you noted. You hear the pitter-patter of that slow rate of fire from the UMP. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It doesn't really have that high of a DPS, and a lot of people don't like it. But there it is. Alfama will pick up another kill on the Crips this time around. This is a great round for him.
Normal gas canisters to be used by Vitalin, as Red Group will ferry his yokais back to the site. He's going to need those here with 10 seconds on the clock. Those on their own are enough to win a round. 1 kill going down here for Red Groove, but it's all time, and Hicks will have to go for the fight. Red Groove unsure of where he is. He'll go in for the fight and retreat at the last second, realizing Red Groove that all he needed to do was pull away and stay alive, and well done here by the Swedes. This is very much ABBA in play. Staying alive.
That's the Bee Gees.
That's the beat.
Are you gonna get
do
every?
it? I'm doing it. Literally doing it on purpose.
Are you gonna get every musical act?
I'm doing it on purpose today. The first one, the jab, to see if you could correct it, but we would both lose in that situation. And then the second one, to see if you're up to date with your, well, not up to date, but see, if you know your oldies.
Yeah, there's words to describe the Bee Gees, and up to date, current is certainly not one of them.
Hey, don't tell that to my dad.
Okay.
I don't think he'd agree with you.
All of that round was saved by Crips, single-handedly. The flank up to take out Aces, silencing the logic bombs, taking out the smokes, and that was both sets of smokes that Crips got as well. Keep that in mind. It was both the Dokkaebi and the Jackal, and you take out both opportunities for those 4 smoke grenades to go down and really cause a problem for Chaos. Now, at the time, they had an Echo on the board, but that Echo drone does not see through the smoke, so you kind of just have to aim blindly and hope that you get the plant down. Hicks, obviously valiant effort, tried to get in and fight for the kill as he very correctly read, hey, there's still a yokai up, we haven't been able to take care of them, there's 3 seconds left on the clock, you have to go for the kill. But that's a tough situation to find yourself in. And I think it was the right call, but just ran out of time, and Red Groove played it smartly. Or wisely, rather. So this time as we head back up to CEO, you're going to bring the ACOG of an Echo and of Maestro this time around. You noted that there wasn't a Maestro last time, it was a Doc, but they'll bring one this time. Good usage here for as well to get some barbed wire down. As you look at Chaos's side of things, you'd have to suspect that Renewals likely has a C4, as it'll be the only one on the board for Chaos, but tons of that razor wire that can get set down. And yes, indeed, Renewals will run the singular Nitro Cell. Very interesting to not have a Nitro Cell get run, especially here. With the way Renewal's playing, he could possibly go for a Nitro Cell at the window, he could possibly go for a Nitro Cell all the way down to the hallway in the connector here, but you've already got LSE taking control of these windows. So Renewals could possibly get pinched. He's going to be at an advantage with that MP7 at close range. It's a good gun. He can just peek around the window and possibly take somebody down. But as with every single round, Lestream's main focus is clear Skylight and then move on from there. And secretly, well, he's not quite near the Skylight, but Aces will be able to take him out, and that's the Dokkaebi doing great work.
He will ascend to the heavens, as they say, but at least the bandit sitting down on the side will be able to destroy any utility that would be used to buy the stream. Oh, pops right into the side of Renewals, forcing him away from the hole. And there you go. The Thermite is able to open up the wall, and Rise finding one on Renewals. Red Groove playing on the inside of the elevator. Unfortunately, he instantly moves out of the elevator shaft. Aces is ready to clean him up. Too many angles for him to hold, but Vitalin will find one. Unfortunately, that leaves him the only man alive for the Swedes. Shut down by Uno, coming in around the flank. Well done by Lustream on this assault. Compared to Penta in our previous match, they were not shy at all to use any utility that they had. They stunned the bandit in position, they opened the wall, they shut him down, and used their calls in the Dokkaebi very, very effectively. Back in the day when Lustream was still Millennium, before the organization shut down, unfortunately, Livin was a very feared Dokkaebi player. Well, here, I think it has to be said as well about Aces.
Yeah, LSE have been a really good team in terms of fragging potential. Their utility is what I think a lot of people have really looked at. When they made their debut at DreamHack Winter, the big thing with LSE was this is a team very top-heavy in terms of fragging potential. How much is Alfama, as the sole support player, going to be able to do? Well, I think a lot of people didn't give a lot of credit to Hicks in the way that he's come along since he got picked up with Rise playing on Millennium 2 seasons ago. Obviously, Hicks had a bit of a rough and tumble start to Pro League because if you remember, he was playing blind on the one stairwell of Cafe Dostoyevsky when it was still on the map pool as the Valkyrie, and he just didn't see the Lion. And unfortunately, that was what most people tend to remember Hicks for. But he's really come into his own, and Alfama has done an excellent job fragging as well on support-oriented operators. That puts LSE in a major advantage over a lot of their competitors. Now, CEO fell apart at the seams extremely fast, and well, both times LSE has won it, and then immediately Chaos has pivoted. We're following the same trend line, the same pattern that we had the first time. Back down to CCTV. We will go. And this is going to be a very similar lineup to what we saw for both teams. It's going to be an early pinch, though, as open area just gets taken, and Uno just trounces in for the time being and just continues to sprint on unabated. All right. Well, nobody's going to slow him down.
Yeah. Uno's been playing a decent chunk of the Ashe. I like how, as he turned around, the legs just kind of slowed, slid there into position. It's pretty fantastic. But now the question is, how will this team try to move around this? They were afraid previously of the Ela played by Chaos, who's running secretly in with a shotgun, and he is still in position. He'll get spotted, and even no drones taken down with the FO12. We've seen the amount of damage that the FO12 can do, especially when you're up close and personal. Definitely one of my favorite shotguns in situations like this. But Ace is just going to keep tabs on the op, and bringing the blitz here is definitely going to be great to shut down the Shoddy. Aces will decide to drop from behind the Ela, and an easy shot to take down secretly. Swift dispatch on the Ela, and now this just allows this team to come in and open up the side of the wall, and at minute 40, that's a ton of time.
Yeah, and very easy for LSE to be able to put this into a good situation for themselves, and that was obviously the intended purpose. Ring out the logic bomb early, the speed at which you saw Uno come in, the change to Rise onto this blitz instead of a Jackal. You've still got your smokes, but you've got a little bit more staying potential. I am interested to know why Rise is going with the PDW rather than the C7E. But alas, we'll have to find that out another day. Not a single shot landed there from Uno that we just saw all the way down into the vault.
So disappointed.
Red, obviously, missing his shots onto those steel bars, which just are completely unforgiving. Also, hacked cams here doing wonders. And this might be a bit of negligence on Chaos' side of things as they open up the killing on their side. This long angle from Garage that is currently being anchored on by Renewals. He's got the Alda just at a tiny pixel angle, waiting for somebody to go in and possibly try for a plant. They'll just be gunned down as this LMG with 76 bullets in reserve is there, poised and ready.
And basically one of the best guns in the game. Damage will be done to Hicks here as he's still at half health, but the smoke will completely bland out the Maestro. He knows that there's one angle for him to play. Oh no, the Blitz will run right on in, and what can the Pulse do? He's gonna try to run away, but an easy frag for Rise, make that 2 for him. And that's the power of the Blitz, diving down on the MVPs of the defense, but he walks right in the line of fire. Crips and hands him the kill. 3v2 advantage for LSE as Alfama dives in from the vault trying to play the angle. And the flank for LSE. However, Chaos in a 2v2 with more HP than what is present for LSE can possibly bring this back. You'll see the drones being set up to support this defense of the diffuser. They know that angle must be protected at all costs. Now, where's Ace in the meantime? Crips will try to run on up and clear the top floor, but it's going to get shot by Hicks. Taken out with the Thermite, and Renewals dives right into Aces. QE into him with the SMG-12 and clean him up. A valiant effort from Chaos to try and retake this. And I want to highlight those angles taken by the Maestro, but those are still not enough to bring the pain on this team.
I was wondering if we were going to see somebody from LSE having possibly been educated at the Leon Gids School of Not Hearing Things a Foot Away from You, or sorry, 2.5 meters away from you, as you very wisely pointed out. But no, it was Hicks that was playing and listening, and he heard Crips, and then he took him down. And that was that sinking feeling in your gut when you're Maestro. When you lose the only person going upstairs to those hatches, and you lose that fight, you think, well, That's that then, I guess. And it was a good try. He pushed, but he has an ACOG and an LMG at close range, and he sees the Dokkaebi. I don't think he was expecting Aces to re-peak as aggressively as he was.
That's what Aces does, let's be honest.
That's what Aces does. And all of this started because of the pace that Lestream started in that, or began that round with. They were very quick to take map control. There was really nobody from Chaos who contested it whatsoever. And then they opened up the wall on Lestream's side of things, and they had free range to just push right in. Very frustrating if you're Chaos there, because things started to go well in the mid-round, especially off of that hot play of the Maestro who was inside a garage. But that was really it. And again, Lestream got a little aggressive. Alfama pushing in was obviously a major issue. But the bigger thing is both times that site has been attacked by Lestream, they basically handed a free victory to Chaos in round number 2. They shored up their mistakes, and I think did a much better job in that round in particular, just to keep everything together.
All the hatches have been opened up here by Fiddly, and this Chaos are looking to tie things up on the halfway point. In this matchup, a lot of holes, a lot of rotation holes opened up, as flexibility seems to be the name of the game for Chaos. I wonder how many players are going to sit on the top floor, as you saw that was a major weakness for one of their opponents, I guess, Team Secret. Our previous match, Rise already come in and actually has control on the outside. I thought he was already inside. Whoa, that doesn't make too much sense. Uno will open up the side of the wall here into CEO, and guess what? He's going to get fired upon on the opposite end. The ACOG of Renewals being used as best as possible, but again, that MP5 does not do much damage at range, especially to the body. But if you can find that target headshot, suddenly all things will turn your way. But even with that, body shots from Renewals will take down Rise. At what cost? You'll lose him and kill the Zofia, but lose the Mute and the Rook. It's not as great a trade here for Chaos, but at least they keep the Echo alive. The biggest problem for Chaos is that now they'll have to worry about players on the top floor doing damage to them, and Uno will start working on this top floor. Unfortunately, there's no more soft breaching charges to use to open up that floorboard. No Buck, no Jackal, as a lot of teams used to run, and Rise being lost means you can't even use his Zofia grenades to impact the floor.
Interesting start here yet again. Rise being your opening death with all the utility is, I mean, I think partially why they put him on that blitz. You're losing him as Jackal when you don't really get the Jackal tracks off. You lose his gun as well, and then of course you also lose the smokes. Howl from Crypts as he just gets absolutely pulverized. Now Red Groove in a heads-up fight against Alfama, and he'll lose that one. And Lestream looked poised to be able to take this 4-2. With 1 minute and 10 seconds left, Vitalin's position given away. Excellent work with that SMG-11 though. Cuts down Aces right outside of the elevators, and then Smoke is ready to go back in and re-engage. He's going to stop for just a second. His position halted. This should be a relatively easy pinch. But which way does Vitalin go for it? He's got Uno very hot on his trail. He needs to keep his distance. He'll evade that flash just for the time being and re-peek. That SMG-11's recoil does aim towards the skies real fast, but if you can land 1 or 2 good shots, that's all that might be the difference. Diffuse goes down quite successfully, and he actually does see the Ibana, but it goes over top yet again, and Vitalin's going to have to rush right in. Into the lion's den he goes, with 2 members of Lestream watching his angle. He's got 10 bullets left in that SMG-11. So he's about to be completely exhausted from bullets here. Pull out the shotgun. He's still got both of his toxic canisters left, but his position is completely given away. We're watching the death throes right now of Vitalin as he ends up extending what should have been a very quick affair. But he treads water for about a minute before inevitably running out of energy, and that's that. Lestream will take the first half 4-2.
That's a pretty darn good half for Lestream, especially when you keep in mind that one of those rounds was basically given away to Chaos. Actually, yeah, you could technically say 2, but still. Chaos trying to recover now on the attack, and will they go for that Capitao, or will it just be a random pick that was just put here in there? Clash seems to be the pick for Lestream. Not sure if they're looking to 6-pick away. No, they're going to 6-pick into the Ella and play Locker CCTV. So Clash Ella, oh man. This, we used to see this with Penta back when Panix was still on the squad. Clash Ella playing on blue stairs is something you should really be afraid of. Because you can't even try to peek it from the front. You're going to have to worry if you're the defense. Any pushes coming in from the server hatch, and Skylight hatch, that is. So now the worry is,
How will Chaos try to play against that? Will they realize what the problem is and deal with it effectively? Or will the shield prove to be too much in combination with the FO12, which we've seen can shred through teams?
Yeah. It's a really wild shotgun, and especially the way they play it. And that's why I mentioned earlier at the start that that's Ryze's home, is on those stairs with the shotgun. Not really much of a surprise to have him play the exact same thing we see time and time again.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse.
I would imagine the rest of the way that this team is going to play, though, is something to definitely keep an eye on. And look at Alfama playing on that Clash as well. This is a very interesting strategy that we're going to see. And the sewers are currently being blocked off by the Clash, and Renewals will be on a collision course with Alfama's operator if the Thermite does end up dropping down. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though. He'll do the drone work first. That's good due diligence, because you'll realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't push in that direction.
All right, I'm going to continue to drone. Just to, as you mentioned, be sure that there's no Clash to just stop them dead in their tracks, as the Clash will most likely be preoccupied, covering the Ela. I wonder if there was a shield that had been put up, and oh, look at that, secretly able to come in from the back, because
nobody's watching right now.
Guess what? There's no Echo, there's no Maestro. This is completely free here. But as you say that, there's a player on the opposite end. I believe that's the smoke of Hicks, who knows something's up. Something very fishy is up. As Sophia will swim her way through here the garage. She's holding behind the pillar. Crips will find information on Uno. Whoa! Uno will win out the fight. And look at that. The Clash just completely maneuvers around. And a quick bait as Hicks will take down secretly. Wonderfully and massively done. Uno with another one onto Vitaly, now leaving Redgroove and Renewal's last two alive with the diffuser on the floor all the way up top. This is all working fantastically well for this team. As say that though, Uno finally shut down.
And Uno didn't really need to peek that. He could have just wasted more time. That Capitao could have maybe taken 10, 15 seconds to be able to get to you in that case, but not going to happen. Still, you've got opportunity for Chaos here. You've got your asphyxiating bolts, the two fire bolts, you've got the two smoke bolts, you've also got the charges from the Thermite. So there's things here, but Renewals has got a very challenging task. He needs to be able to get inside of CCTV. It all depends on where Ryze is really playing as well on that Ela, because he's situated at the top of server stairs. And the Capitao is not too far off. It's going to be a concerted effort, but Aces just guns down Renewals, and he'll grab both as they enter through the server side of things. The German monster will take a pretty good round, and he's had a pretty good game so far, actually. Instinctively knowing where Chaos is going to come from. And I hate to say it, but this looks more like the Chaos from last season.
In this matchup, for sure.
In this matchup, for sure, yes. And this has not been a good match for Chaos at all.
No, not at all. The team definitely looking like they can contest with the best. And this is in stark contrast to their first match of the season against Ents on Border, in which you saw both Aces and Uno tripping over one another and not being able to function together as a cohesive unit to assault their opponent's whereabouts. In this case, this team are all droning. They're all getting information. Attack or defense, well, defense, just making sure that they use as much utility combined with their own game sense as possible. And you know what? Then it allows both Aces and Uno to maneuver around the map, get a kill each, and look at that. Attackers suddenly only have 3 players within the first 30 seconds on the round. What are you supposed to do? You panic, and you have to drop the hatch to try and save it. And in that case, Aces just rotate it back and is ready to nab you.
This team has just so much firepower on LSE's side of things. And I mean, you've got the same thing on Chaos. Every single member of that team is more than capable of stepping up. Yep. But they're just not used to the fact that Lestream is playing like this. Lestream are literally just sprinting right in on half of these opening engagements here. But now, obviously, with it going to defense, it's going to play totally different. But on attack, Chaos had no idea what Lestream was doing.
And the question is, how are they going to try to deal with that? Because they should know that they're not going to win those 1v1 fights against that aggression. They're not comfortable playing against it here, Chaos. They need to have multiple operators and players dedicated to shut down the roam first, with each up a lot of time for the team. But it might be your only shot at this point, and you have to try it. You can't just repeat the same thing every single time and just expect it to change just because, oh, this team made a mistake here. Well, so far, they're not really making many of them.
No, I mean, they've played a little bit too aggressively on a couple of sites, especially when they were attacking CCTV downstairs. That really comes to mind and jumps out. But outside of that, at least on that one defense, we didn't really see anything from Lestream that was egregious to me. Maybe Uno peeking, but Chaos just got obliterated as they tried to enter. This could be a possible different story, but look at this hesitation from Chaos.
Knock, knock.
A minute in, and you've only got really one body inside of the site. Aces gets too aggressive, secretly gets him with the Claymore. That's an excellent start, as well as Chaos getting this wall over by CEO. This is a very good opportunity for them to be able to recover. But the way this site plays out, opening those walls, that's just the starting point. You can't get much else outside of that.
Oh, Red Groove's gonna wait for the pick. He does damage to the Maestro, but Alfama is still alive. This is a great spot that we see a lot of people, including Vivi in the past, and nowadays with Laxing, for example, using that position wonderfully on the rappel. Unfortunately, it only does damage, and it's not enough to shut down the Maestro, which leaves the Evil Eye fully active and available for this team. Secretly going in for the reload, still rappelling on the outside of the windows, unable to find anyone just yet, as the opportunity against this team is not presenting itself at all.
Reynolds will just survey that open hole we saw get made by Hibana a minute ago, and once again another minute has transpired. There's been very minimal work here, but this is a great drone from Red Groove, who's essentially in a position all by himself to try and take out Hicks, who's got his back turned to where the Dokkaebi is going to be coming from. This could have been a capitalization, but it does look like Hicks might have been spotted, and he'll run because he sees it coming. Final Logic Bomb also will sail out, and everybody from Lestream is going to be stopped. Hicks gets one onto Secretly, an excellent pick onto the Zofia. That'll mean no utility from the Zofia available, Milosh, but there's 30 seconds to go. Logic Bomb goes off, people trying to be softened up. Crips and Alfama engage with one another, and Crips will walk away with that. And this is an excellent round from Chaos so far.
The Blackbeard going in for the peak. Uno takes a lot of damage, but before he can heal himself up, he gets shot down by Renewals and Red Groove to clean it all up. Playing the Mark 14 on the outside of the Dokkaebi, and there we go. That is a beautiful play from Chaos. That's exactly what we were expecting out of them after their rounds and their matches earlier in this season. I have to say, that rappel the Dokkaebi on the outside, it might be simple when you see it first, but that's not something you're expecting. And one player dove in, the second one was not expecting the Dokkaebi to still be in that position, but we talked about it before. You know, having the castle, you would like it to corner off parts of the map and force the attackers to maneuver and swing wildly to try and get the flank on you. However, in that case, when you have a DMR that does a decent amount of damage there as the Mark 14, all you got to do is stay away and a double tap and you can easily shut down a Maestro in that position. Did damage well enough, but more importantly, you relayed the information. And you saw the Jackal win a fight that should not have been won. He's playing behind the shrubbery here in Skylight. Wonderfully done. This team will go back to the same side. CEO.
CEO can work. I mean, a big part of why that CEO take really fell apart, or CEO defense rather, really fell apart for Lestream was just simply the information that Chaos had on them. That bank lobby has so many places that you can just stash a drone and never have to worry about, especially with the Dokkaebi there being able to take cams, and then you've got the default cam up. This is huge room with so many lines of sight. That one single drone situated somewhere in that main lobby, yeah, it's going to be able to continuously feed you intel. It's what allowed Red Groove to get the drop on the Maestro. It's what allowed Red Groove to get the drop on the castle as well. It's not really too much of a surprise to see that. I would imagine that there's likely going to be a stash drone, and if LSE didn't know that there was a drone in there, it could befall them yet again. Keep in mind, Lestream only needs one round to get onto match point here. And they're very close to at least getting, or one round to get on the match point here. And they're very close to just being able to walk away with 1 point. So if they can take CEO and run with it, CCTVs will actually be open next time, and they can just try and lock that out on a CEO site, which would end up being a 7-3 scoreline, which is, I think, a much better expectation than a lot of people would have had. Oof. But great repel by the front lobby, and Secretly will find Aces, who once again will be the opening frag. Renewal sustains a lot of damage there, but there's plenty of time for a reset. Just over 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, which should bring him up at 50% and have no problems continuing the round with Chaos. Aces being dropped there is, again, a similar start to what we saw in our previous round, as these runouts have not been always successful, to say the least.
See you on the other side.
Having Aces and Uno on the squad alive together to support one another is definitely a boon that Lusitania would like to have, but Rise will at least find one, and very swiftly dispatch the Zofia, leaving Renewal still at low health, because, you know what, he has not been picked up yet, at least not reset to 50%, so him fighting those windows is going to be very, very difficult for him to do with such little HP.
It's one of the rare instances where an ACOG is going to bite you if you try to be too aggressive on those windows, just because you won't be able to see and control. And I mean, the hipfire spread for the Alda is still not great, even though it was much better before and actually
it was
tighten up.
Way too good.
Yeah, so I mean, you can still just simply scope out there. Chaos is stumbling right now in the mid-round. They don't know whether they want to put their full resources on those windows. They don't know if they want to go through Skylight. They don't know if they want to go through Lobby. And their bodies are all over the map at the moment. Alfama going for a run out. Oh, he'll shred through Renewals and cut him down. There wasn't very much left. He won't be able to get right in. And this is some shrewd playing along that one wall. And it'll be a joint effort from Red Groove and Crips. But you just killed 20 seconds to do that and took the buck down on the window.
I hope that Alfama at least set up his Evil Eyes correctly, as Chaos will have to waddle through them. 4 smoke grenades available again, theoretically for Chaos. One of them already been used. That's basically to cover Chaos as they try to penetrate on the site. Bearing 9 with Iron Sights being used by Vitaline, as it does have less recoil than the normal counterpart. Rise will get one on Crips in the meantime, though. Chaos losing manpower. Rise will find another one on Vitaline. Guess what? The diffuser's in the back, and Red Groove will find one kill off of it on the castle. No, he's got no more ammo left in the magazine. Will take down Hicks, but quickly dispatched by Rise. Wonderfully done there. He'll rise to the occasion, as they say. The Legion puts it all up on the board.
Actually completely exhausted of ammunition there for the Dokkaebi as well. If the DMR had failed, the SMG-12 was completely out of ammo, except for the reserve. So you'd have to switch that and reload too. So just between a rock and a hard place and nowhere
just
to
take
go.
The ammo out of your backpack and just chuck it at them.
LSE actually, at least for right now, has vaulted over Chaos just because they have the 1 point on the board. Chaos will need to dig deep to come back. And as I noted, CCTV is now open.
Yes.
And making no mistake, that's exactly where the stream will go, back down to that bottom site. Chaos losing at a 7-3, that's bad, and that will make it even harder as you go through the rest of it. Because or rest of this half. If I remember, G2 still has to play Chaos. If I recall, I will have to look a little bit farther ahead.
Yes, they play Chaos tomorrow night.
So this is the only downside to Supermonth, is trying to keep track of what games have and haven't.
Yeah, that's why I have my
haven't been played.
It's all here.
Just trying to keep track of. Have we seen this matchup? I don't know. We've seen so many.
Trying to squeeze 7 play weeks in 3 weeks is kind of.
It's been exciting, and it's been great because the games stay so fresh in your mind. I've actually enjoyed that aspect of it. So, as much as it has been a bit of a strain on the voice, it's been overall quite nice because you do have matches back to back to back to back to back.
Eat fresh, play fresh.
I don't know what that is.
It's for video games.
Oh, okay. I was worried you were going to drop another reference on me again. That was going to be like completely wrong, and I'd be like, again, really? What are you going for today? Whoa, hold on a second. Look at that wall.
Okay.
5 seconds left.
Oh, look at that.
Not enough budget to open up the whole wall.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. Attackers are moving out to locate
Look, it must have been Rise doing it, but it looks like it was either an Impact or a C4 that did that, but they still have the studs in the wall. It could be a visual glitch, or it could just simply be that they've deliberately opened it up. I mean, remember when G2 used to open up that one wall and make it so you can't put a thermite charge on it?
Yeah, but not like that.
That is very unique.
Because usually you leave the studs. Yeah, this is very weird because you want to be hidden behind the half wall. Sometimes you'll even run a Mira half wall in that position if she is available. But still, that aside, we'll see how this all works or not for this team. As this time they're bringing the Echo, the Ella, the Echo, the Ella, and the Clash. So they were weary of the fact that, hey, Chaos kind of went past our defenses into Garage. If it were for the fact that we were fast enough to send the Clash to the opposite end and capitalize on the kill, that would have been a completely different result, possibly, on the round. So they'll adapt to it and change things around. Renewal is spotted up top as he'll take down a Gishmotline here, secretly trying to set up a grenade for the stairs, as they should have info on the Clash playing those stairs, and secretly will order Varlene to come down and open up the hatch. Chaos very wisely running both hard breachers in this situation.
This is the one thing that really sucks for the defense is that you lose all of your reinforcements basically. You have a Hibana. I mean, Maverick is okay in this situation, but you're going to lose one hatch and then maybe you're going to lose some pieces of another hatch, which means that you have to be a little bit more careful, but that's really about it. So with Hibana and Thermite on the board, you're guaranteed to lose them. Rise being a very pivotal operator here on the stairs of CCTV, got the shotgun out, they know he's going to be playing very aggressive. He lost the deployable shield, there should be a Guzmat there as well. He gets right up in the face of Vitaline, and he sees the Thermite, and despite the impact, oh, he'll take one down, but he peeks again a bit too early and will actually lose out to Secretly, as Ace is also down.
Well, nicely done, Villain Chaos squad taking down the Legion and the Ela in this situation. They lose out on the Thermite, however, and that is quite possibly the worst operator to lose in this situation. Because guess what? Vitaline had already used his utility on breaking the hatches, and I'm not sure if he has a single X-Kairos left. Oh, the grenade right into Alpha Ma. Oh, no, unfortunate. Secretly finding the kill on Uno as it's a trade for Crips. Alpha Ma's on the floor. It leaves Hicks the only man alive. You need to pick up that Clash, but unfortunately, she'll get shot down pretty easily here by Secretly, and Hicks is all the way in the back. Fuser's going to get set. Unable to capitalize on the advantage that killing the Thermite might have gotten. Oh, can he get this? If this is all one off of time, this would be huge. Goes back on it, but no, he had already lost one of the Yokais. Goes around for the second, stops the plant, but not for too long. Then rush in, the Capitao goes down for Redgroove. Does he have an extra charge to use on it? No. 30-second reload, and no. Secretly strikes and takes down Hicks a second minute.
This is a great example of why Echo gets banned so often. Why is that? Because he's got 4 dead teammates, and they can all watch and count for him. So you saw from the perspective of the Echo inside of Elevator, he was waiting for a push, because you got 3 bodies from Chaos. How does Chaos play that? You have 1 person cover so you don't get pushed unexpectedly, because you don't actually know where the Echo is. You're out of drones that late in the game. Nobody's going to be droning at that point because you're going to be vulnerable, so what happens? You got 3 bodies. 1 goes for the plant, other covers. 3rd man, just go off and try to find where the Echo is. Basement's not a big site. You can figure that out in about 20 seconds. But the problem is you've only got 20 seconds to work with, number 1. And number 2, because your entire team can watch that Yokai drone, the Echo doesn't need to sit on it. No. The Echo needs to go on it, knock you out of the plant, and immediately get off it. And that's it. And the rest of the teammates on the stream can do the counting for you. Why do you think we saw him go on it and then wait a second and then immediately blast the Hibana? Because they knew that the rest of the teammates were counting to hit that 7-second timer. That's what makes Echo so powerful, in addition to a lot of things. But that is one of the biggest strengths that Echo has, is that you basically have 4 camera operators at that point.
But that round was well recovered by Chaos. They'd lost an important operator, but they were able to deal with the Ela fairly efficiently and take down the Clash with some beautiful grenade placement from the Buck. At 7-4, Chaos are proving that they can fight with the top players. And this kind of is starting to change the equation in EU, which brings the score closer for the second half of this season. We're not done just yet with this matchup, however, as Chaos can tie this all up and get at least 1 point out of it, the maximum that they can squeeze out of this matchup against this team. 2-round wins, and a 6-6 is what they're looking for.
It's tough to fight for a draw mentally, but I mean, obviously, if you're Chaos, and you know how competitive EU has been, this is a golden opportunity to run up the score. The usual Titans of Europe are all at the bottom of the scoreboard for the time being. There's fresh blood. You got Chaos and Empire as the 2 teams sitting in the playoffs right now through 4 matches, and 5 matches, rather, once this day concludes. And I mean, it could be a very different picture. It's unlikely that some of the teams at the bottom will be able to catch up just on today alone. But I mean, you've got Penta who's trying to roar back. You know, they just picked up 3 very big points over top of Secret. They're going to move up the scoreboard. If Lestream moves up the scoreboard, then they're going to jump over Chaos here. You've got G2 and Empire playing, so even if G2 wins, they're not going to be able to climb up to the top 2, and Empire's still going to be sitting up there with a high amount of points. These are points that Chaos needs. Desperately, desperately need to win this match. Just from a simple statistical standpoint, they need to be able to walk away with this.
Redgroove just walking into the main lobby so far as Chaos have complete control of the ground floor. Is it going to be a peek again? And yes, it will, but Aces this time. Sitting on the stairs. This team have completely forgone the strategy of, you know what, we're just going to run Ela with a shotgun here and just switch it up to a more conventional setup. As we saw with the Jaeger before in their first matchup today with Penta, you know, after the stairs are gone and you lose them, having the shotgun is really going to hamper you later on in the round. But going in and fighting on all of those goo mines, Renewals will come in and use his last exothermic charge to open up the wall. Enter into CCTV. Not as much time as we saw this team having before, but quite a bit. 54 on the clock to start to chip away at the utility available for the defense. First smoke canister will get used. It's all okay because you still have an extra C4 for Rise at the end. Your last line of defense, and the plant's actually going to go down. This is not a fake, and Fiddling's going to get tagged on the side, but should be able to set it down at what cost? Well, the loss of the Habana. Red Groove holding on from the side of Scripps, watching for any rotations, protecting Red Groove, and this is something that fell apart before for Chaos.
You got two bodies upstairs. Red Groove will be able to take one down from the hatch. This is excellent control. Cripps actually looks the wrong way. He's going to double up, and Lestream just having so many numbers to accomplish this. It's going to leave Red Groove in a position where he'll take down one, but an immediate push. Puts Renewals in a really vulnerable spot, but he knows there'll be two, and that's it. Lestream will take this matchup in pretty strong fashion, all things considered.
Toxic Uno. Okay. Okay, that's not an extra kill on the board, by the way.
Yeah, you're not stat padding at that point.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Alexei, I see how it is. 7-4 victory at the end here for Le Stream. The exact same that we had in our first matchup between Penta and Secret. It was also a 7-4 on Bank. Aces putting up a lot of work on the board for the team. And Rise at 14 is Uno. Even with 8 kills, was at the bottom of the board. So you can tell, kills were going Le Stream's way as Chaos were playing much more passively, or at least trying to play long angles and long-range fights. However, it did not prove to be enough to defeat the, at this point, mixed European squad with a French base of this.
No, it's and one of the last, I guess, like all country lineups or all national lineups in Chaos right now, finding themselves they're going to drop out of the top 2. Lestream will vault on up, join Empire up there, and not a good 2 days for Chaos, all things considered. And like we said, they have G2 next week, or next play day rather, next week, which is tomorrow now because we're in Super Month.
Super year.
Not super year. Every year's a super year, as long as you're having a good old time. But
as long as you're here, Parker.
Thank you. But that matchup in particular played out very similar to what we expected out of Bank. You know, it was Lestream took attacking victories pretty handily. They tossed 2 of them away, or one in particular rather that I think they probably could have walked away with, which we'll go back to as that second round CCTV take. When you look at Chaos in general, I mean, it's tough. Chaos looked so coordinated through the first play day. And then through the second play day, equally coordinated. Third play day, not the most coordinated, but they still looked good enough to be able to keep it together. Then against Penta last week, and then against Lestream here, not really sold on the way that Chaos plays, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's teams just simply being able to figure them out and counter-stratting them. Maybe something is going sideways with communication, but Chaos as a team overall just really looked disjointed and didn't look like they had that cohesion that was necessary.
They are definitely in a better position to lighten the mood for just a bit. They are a much better position than what they were last season.
Oh, absolutely.
No question about
absolutely. They're a much better team.
Yeah, massive improvement. But, you know, after seeing those first few days, we're like, okay, this is the resurgence. This is what we're looking for with Chaos. And unfortunately, in this game, didn't really show up. They put up at least those 4 rounds on the board, but tomorrow they're going to face off a bigger giant at G2. So that's something to see. Before we head on to game number 3 for the day, we've got an interview lined up with you here for the stream. Rise will be around. Hello, what's up, Valentin? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
This was a pretty good game for you guys. It's the second matchup on Bank that we've had today, and both games actually going for a 7-4. A few questions. We'll start off with round number 2. You guys were taking CCTV. All the round was yours. And then the Pulse on his own kind of just won the round in gold in a 3v1. What happened there between the team?
I think we just overcommitted on a deep push, and like for not only that, but I was like sitting next to X, who was planting behind the bomb. He was planting the diffuser behind the bomb, and I was like at the default plant, trying to cover him through the smoke with the jackal. With 50 bullets, it's like easy to just random shoot it into the smokes, but the smoke pushed in the same time through the smokes. I tried to cover X from the smokes, and then the pulse like C4 at this exact same time, so it killed us both, I think. And then like Alphama tried to push deep that pulse, but it was too late. He was alone and out of position. So I think like everything was messy in our execution in this round.
Okay, well, on round number 7, you guys decided to run the Ela and the Clash together to try and play in blue stairs. That was the first round on defense, and there was obviously CCTV. There was no Maestro, no Echo, which was changed later on, but there was nobody covering the garage and allowed the Zofia to enter in. If it weren't for the fact that the Clash had turned around and helped support the smoke in fighting the Zofia, that entire flank would have been lost. Was that the decision behind completely foregoing the LS shotgun later on and bringing the Echo on the squad?
No. We had the information about the garage. I don't really remember how, but I think they let the default cannon because they did the last one, by the way. But yeah, it wasn't really a part of the strategy. We knew they were going for the server, and they did not. Yep. So yeah, it's like a total defense we made up for them. But yeah, hopefully we've got the info of the garage push, and we managed to secure it, so it's fine.
In clear contrast to what had happened in your first play day of the season against ENCE, we saw in that matchup both Uno and Aces kind of stepping on one another's toes and not really having the correct support from the rest of the squad. Do you think that 4 play days after that matchup, things have changed and has allowed those 2 frag players to really shine on the team?
Yeah, it did. Obviously, yeah. As I said, like the second play day, like we just had a big talk after the ENCE game, and we were like, okay, we obviously have a problem of coordination between the droners and the openers, and we have to fix it. So how do we do? And we just like put up solutions on the table, and I think we took the right one, because now Aces and Uno, who are like frag monsters, can just like evolve into the game like properly.
Yeah, and I'm fairly excited for you guys, later on as we head closer and closer to 6th Invitational, remind everybody. And of course, you guys are playing against Team Empire tomorrow, a team that usually scares Uno quite a bit, at least in the past, from what we've seen in the matches. And you also lost to them at 6 Invitational qualifiers before being able to beat out your French rivals of Vitality to qualify for the major event. But that is for tomorrow. Again, Rise, congratulations on your victory against your opponents here of Team Chaos. Anything you'd like to say to the fans watching you?
Well, thank you, and thank you for the support as always. It's been incredible since the 6th Invitational qualifier, so let's keep it up like this. Thank you very much.
All right. Merci beaucoup. Bonne nuit, bonne soirée. Bye-bye.
Merci.